Thank you for coming tonight. I know a lot of the times on the campus, we never call parents until we have all the information. Let's say we have a kid go to the nurse, they're injured, we don't call and say, hey, your kid's injured, and then you ask what happened. Oh, we don't know. Or we want to get everything before we do it. And thank you for your patience. This has been several moving pieces until to get to tonight, so I appreciate you waiting. And then we'll get through everything. So my name is Casey Beckett. This is year 28. For me in education, 22 I've spent in a middle school. So middle school are my people. Those are my people. Not everybody can say that about middle school. So here's our agenda tonight. We do want to be respectful of your time. So if we get through it and you feel rushed or you have an extra question, we will be sticking around at the end. We'll also have contact info. But we're going to go through this fairly quickly just to give you an overview, and then we'll stick around later for any other questions that you may have. So some people have asked, what is a college prep model? Basically what a college prep model is you're giving a rigorous curriculum, and everyone gets the same expectation that you're going to go to college. And I like to compare this to an athlete. You wouldn't look at an athlete in 7th grade and say, you know, you don't know the rules, you don't know how to play basketball, you're not going to be a high school varsity player, so we're going to give you a different way to practice. Everyone's going to get the same treatment. Everyone goes through the same drills because everyone's going to, you don't know when they develop. Same thing is going to happen for our kids. Everyone's going to be treated like they can go to college. I do want to say, just because it's saying college prep, college isn't the only way. Okay, I think we all know people that didn't go to college who are making a great living. My husband was in the fire department. He always made more money and made better benefits than I did. Both of my boys joined the military. One had a higher score, had more opportunities as far as what his jobs were going to be, and had a pretty hefty signing bonus. So it's all about the opportunities, and you're going to hear us talk about that. But just because it says college prep, that doesn't mean everyone needs to go to college to be successful. So basically, college prep models have a high success rate in Texas. You can see right there that 84% of them have received an A or B accountability rating, and of those Title I schools, 84, same percentage, are also at the A or B rating. So it's not just saying, oh, those kids that have the wealthy families, or those kids, the Title I kids are doing it as well with the college prep model because those supports are built in. I want to show you this. This is from our East Central graduates. So right up here, less than 30% of our current graduates are earning a degree or a credential within 6 years. So we celebrate kids when they graduate, and if you've ever been to the East Central graduation, it's always great, and they'll say somebody's name, like Joe Smith, Texas A&M San Antonio. Okay, but nobody follows up with him to see what happens. A lot of the times our kids are having to take remedial math classes because they can't get into college algebra because their scores aren't high enough, which they have to pay for. So we don't want to set kids up to not be successful. And so that's why we went with the college prep model, because it matches what our needs are. So at the end of 8th grade, here's our goals we want our kids to have. They're going to leave us with at least 3 high school credits, 1 in biology, 1 in algebra. Those are both high school credit classes. And then you're going to pick up another one for either a foreign language or an elective. Typically, they do high school art because students have to take a fine arts once they get to high school. We're going to have our kids develop strong communication and collaboration skills and be problem solvers. Things that they can take in, you want to graduate and go straight to the workforce, you're going to have to learn how to work with others. Just like teaching kids reading and math, you have to teach those skills to the kids. Same thing with the next one, how to learn how to advocate for themselves. When they leave here, like Mr. McKay just said, you're going to go to a high school that has thousands of students. We want them to be able to say, hey, my schedule's not right, or something happened, I need to report it. But sometimes the kids don't always know how to do that, so we're going to be very intentional about teaching that. And then we want to have an understanding of college and career pathways, and then tie it together to how they do in school. There's so many opportunities at East Central High School, dozens of credentials you can leave with, but a lot of the times you have to start your freshman year. And so if you don't start that path early, and let's say you wait till you're a sophomore or junior, you think, man, I would love to be a pharmacy tech, or I'd love to be a CNA, it's too late. So we want them to know about it early so they can know how to plan their high school. And how are we going to do this? So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to increase the instructional minutes. The blue right there is 5th grade. So we have 5th grade math, and then we have, you see how it drops down, and that's just the requirements, what we typically have. It's no wonder that kids take that dip once they get to middle school, because look how much their time is decreasing in instruction. So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to increase that time for those core subjects of math and reading. And then we're also going to use Carnegie and Amplify for our curriculums. All of our 5th graders currently use Amplify. And our math students at the middle schools use Carnegie. So this is a research-based on grade level curriculum that will cover all of our kids. Research has shown sometimes when teachers are left to design their own lessons, it's not always on grade level. So this will guarantee that they get on grade level curriculum. And one of the really fun things that we're going to do is a strong college culture. So everyone will get to go on college visits every year. We want them to have that experience firsthand. And something's powerful about being on a college, walking through what college students do. I was fortunate to be able to do a college prep model in a previous district. And so this was probably my favorite part. Sometimes we had kids get to eat in the dining hall. They got to sit in classrooms just to kind of get a feeling of what it was like. Another thing we're going to have is family information workshops. Growing up, I was the first gen college student. My dad always said, look how hard I'm working. Look how hard I'm working. You need to go to college. They wanted me to go, but they didn't know how to do it. They didn't know how to help. And so we want to keep you in the loop. A lot of the times now, what we do for middle schools is we'll wait till 8th grade. We'll give you the choice forms for the high school, and it's kind of a one and done. And so, like I said earlier, if you don't make those correct choices early, then it puts you maybe on the path that you'd like to be on. And an awesome piece we have AVID, and what AVID is a college readiness program, and it's designed to equip all of the students with the skills and strategies to be successful. This is for an AVID elective class that all the kids are going to have as an elective, and it's also all of the teachers are trained in the strategies. So it gives everyone a common language to doing that. Typically, you would have to go through an application process, you would be interviewed, not everyone gets into AVID. We believe in it so much that all of our kids are going to get AVID. Another piece, another piece that Ms. Johnson did mention is typically an AVID, you have college students come in and tutored a couple of times a week, and so that's nice. So you have that extra support in that AVID class too for the kids. You have your math and reading, science, social studies. You have your added students will have art for their elective. Every student in 6th through 8th grade middle school has to have one fine art credit, so they'll have that. If there is interest in PE, there is an option of us adding PE, but we don't have a gym. So if you have boys that were like mine, they wouldn't care. You could say, we're gonna have the 80 on the parking lot every day, and they would say, that's fine, I want PE. So if you do opt in, that's an option on there, and if we have enough interest, we can look into adding a PE class. One of the things that's going to differ, even though we are in middle school, since we're housed at an elementary, we are using the elementary schedule and the elementary transportation. So our day will be the same as traditional, 7:32 a.m. to 3:15. And so here's the timeline. And this is some of the things that Mr. McKay already talked about. Next year, for those students who opt in, who would like to join us, the following year, everybody will join us in the new building. And then, while we're doing a tradition before the building is open. This year, like Mr. McKay said, there was a grant where I have had the opportunity to work with an organization called School Empowerment Network, which they bring together, we work with them as a game back in school, the best way I can describe it. And they have done research, they say, this is what you need to do to have a successful school, make the plan. And so the whole time we make the plan, I think now it's close to 70 pages long. And it's just like a handbook of what Valor is going to be like. And everything is very, very intentional. So speaking of joining, these are some of the mock-ups of the new building. So that will be when you're pulling in towards the front. That's another picture of the front. This is a courtyard, and I believe that's the library. This is, I think, is my favorite picture of it all. A courtyard, lots of seating. You can see there's people who are seated outside, and the whole middle is turf. I love that because if you've been in middle schoolers kill the grass and stuff, so we have turf in the middle. When we built the design school, we were very intentional about this as well, and the designers worked with teachers, with admin, and they worked with students a lot. They said, what do you like about your school? What do you wish was different? And so they took all that feedback and put it together. And so that's why one of the things that a lot of the kids said is we want places to sit when we're outside, we want places to hang out. A lot of the areas are used to collaborate very easily. So this is a room off of the library. And then there's a picture of the library. Pretty cool. And the cafeteria. Okay, so what's next? What are our next steps? So Mr. McKay said everyone will automatically roll over, and then you have the opportunity to opt in. So we want to make sure if you want to go, you need to opt in. Everyone got a form tonight, so if you want to go ahead and fill, this is the same form, so you don't have to worry about this. But we want to try to get an idea of how to plan. If you fill out the form tonight, one way or another, and leave it at your table or push it down at the end. That way we can have an idea of who's going, and then that way we can also let Heritage know. Ms. Chase, like I said, is over here. I think this is the last. Yeah, that's our last slide. If you leave here and have a question, there's my email. Please don't hesitate to use that. This number here is actually to our personnel department, which I'm there sometimes, but you can leave a message and I can call you back. If you have a weird, nothing, just contact me. Okay, even if you have a different time, and hey, I'm at work, I can talk to you after hours, or I just have nothing, no question is too small. We want you, this is a big decision, and we want you to make the right decisions for your students. We are asking that if you do opt in, we can have those numbers for your decision by the following Friday, which I think is the 4th, April 4th, which I think is next Friday. So if you have any questions, please reach out before then, and then we can go one way or another. But that's going to conclude it, guys, and we'll stick around for a few minutes. Thank you for coming and giving up your time with your families. We look forward to having you at Valor, whether it's next year or in 26, 27.